In a world where power dictates destiny, Liham stands at the precipice, his gaze unwavering as he navigates the treacherous path of a genius mage. For in this brutal reality, as long as you possess the skills, wealth and fame will inevitably follow, often leaving a trail of blood and sacrifice in its wake. Meanwhile, Knight Commander Enoch is absolutely livid, slamming his foot down in frustration. He rages about their dire situation, still recovering from Paith's Knights, ambushed by orcs and goblins, and now, to add insult to injury, they're completely out of food. Enoch shouts at his men, demanding to know why they're standing around and ordering them to go hunt for more game immediately. His men, Barja and Bilshan, whisper amongst themselves, unsure of what to do and asking Enoch for his orders. Enoch, ever the aggressive leader, suggests they can catch their attackers off guard if they strike right now. But Asher, the mage accompanying Enoch, cautions him. He came along specifically to counter the enemy mage, but they still don't know the full extent of their opponent's power, warning that a misstep could easily backfire. Enoch, however, is insistent, arguing that they can't afford to let the enemy escape. Barja, the swordsman, steps forward, declaring there's only one way out of their predicament. He steps over the fallen deer, telling Bilshan to stop dwelling on their misfortunes and focus on their next move. Barja sighs, lamenting how a clown-looking orc managed to slaughter their men, reminiscing about his past as an adventurer and regretting the day he started killing for money. Bilshan suggests raiding another village, but Barja quickly shuts him down, reminding him that the Baron is already furious about the corpses they left last time. Bilshan then mentions they've been using a concealment spell to stay hidden, but it's time to move on, suggesting a nearby city called Martz. Suddenly, a fiery explosion erupts from the ground, catching Bilshan completely off guard. Bilshan cries out in shock, realizing it wasn't just an explosion but a powerful spell. Enoch and Asher are stunned, realizing their concealment spell has been broken and they've been found as a figure descends from above. It's Liham, the genius mage, raining down a barrage of magical attacks, shattering the ground and sending Enoch's men flying. One of Enoch's men screams in agony as Liham's attack strikes him down, blood splattering across the forest floor. Barja watches in horror as Bilshan collapses, crying out his name in despair. Barja quickly deduces that while a mana barrier is a quick defensive spell, it's not very sturdy and is easily broken. Then his eyes widen in realization. It can only mean one thing: their attacker must be a mage. Enoch, confident he has a grasp on Liham's power, tells Asher to take care of the enemy mage, while Asher prepares a powerful spell. Barja, seething with anger, realizes the Baron is truly out to kill them, having even hired a mage to ensure their demise. With a furious roar, Barja lunges at Enoch, their swords clashing in a shower of sparks. Barja threatens to send Enoch's head to the Baron for this little stunt, but Enoch just smirks, dismissing it as an empty threat. Meanwhile, Liham is on the run, deftly dodging Asher's relentless pursuit as the mage conjures an earth wall to block his path. Liham curses under his breath, annoyed that Asher is still on his tail despite his efforts to get away. He notes that Asher is using Earth Wall, which means he can't use Flight, a third-tier spell, implying Asher is only a second-tier mage. Liham decides that if Asher is indeed only second-tier, this is the perfect opportunity to eliminate him right here and now, leaping into action. Asher, however, is ready, conjuring multiple flame arrows, preparing to unleash a fiery volley. Liham pants, pushing his limits as he narrowly evades Asher's scorching attacks. He thinks to himself that if Enoch the Knight were here, it might be a different story, but with just Asher, he's confident he can take him down and escape this cursed place. But Asher has other plans, his expression hardening as he makes it clear he has no intention of letting Liham leave. Asher acknowledges Liham's impressive talent. A second-tier mage wielding multiple elemental attributes at such a young age is a rare sight indeed. Yet, a sinister grin spreads across Asher's face as he declares that it's a shame Liham's journey ends here, preparing a devastating spell. With a surge of power, Asher unleashes third-tier magic, ice falling, summoning a colossal shard of ice to crush Liham. The massive ice shard hurtles towards Liham, a chilling testament to Asher's true magical prowess. The ground shatters as the ice shard slams down, creating a formidable prison of ice around Liham. Liham looks up, his face a mask of utter disbelief and shock. Asher stands triumphantly amidst the jagged ice formations, having successfully trapped Liham. But he's not done yet. Asher raises his hand, conjuring Earth Spear, and sharp, deadly spikes erupt from the ground. The Earth Spears pierce through the ice, aiming directly for Liham, leaving him no escape. Liham is completely flabbergasted, questioning how a second-tier mage could possibly use third-tier magic. Asher simply smirks, asking if he's surprised. Asher taunts Liham, asking him how he thinks he managed to pull off such a feat, as more ice shards fly towards the cornered mage. And just like that, Liham collapses to the ground, defeated as Asher stands over him, the victor of this unexpected magical duel. Ferric reflects on his past life, remembering a mana circuit expander potion from his days in the Magic Tower, a time he never wanted to revisit as a subject of experiments. Back in the present, Ferric is clearly struggling, mana crackling around him as he pushes himself to the limit. He thinks about the mage he just defeated, confident that the potion he administered should have been enough to kill him, but he still needs proof to gain the Baron's trust. His eyes land on a peculiar item on the ground, wondering if it's the wand the defeated mage was using. With a curious hum, Ferric activates his appraisal skill on the glowing wand. The wand is revealed to be a mana stone staff, enchanted to slightly boost casting speed and the power of ice-type magic, which Ferric decides could be quite useful for now. Suddenly, a soldier dashes towards Ferric, calling out to him with relief. The soldier expresses his worry, having not seen Ferric after they dealt with the bandits, to which Ferric apologizes, explaining the mage was stronger than he anticipated. The soldier agrees, noting it must have been a hell of a fight. Ferric asks if they've finished with the bandits, and the soldier confirms, adding that Sir Enoch is currently handling the boss and should be done by the time they return. The soldier, with a wide grin, encourages Ferric to ask anything he wants. Ferric, with a gulp, inquires about the fate of the bandits' belongings, a hint of greed in his eyes. The soldier enthusiastically gives him the green light to take anything that isn't crucially important, much to Ferric's surprise. The Baron's aide, a smiling man, gives a reassuring thumbs up, confirming the soldier's words. Ferric, holding his new wand, feels a rare sense of being moved by their generosity. Sir Enoch approaches, expressing gratitude and acknowledging that Ferric prevented heavy losses, but Ferric humbly responds that it was a valuable experience for him too. Among the bound bandits, one reacts with shock and disbelief upon hearing that Bilshan is dead, blood trickling from his face. With a desperate glint in his eye, the bandit pulls out a hidden blade, declaring he won't die in such a backwater place with so much left undone. He lets out a primal scream, ready to go all or nothing, as Sir Enoch and Ferric watch the unfolding chaos. The bandit lunges forward, his blade a blur, aiming for a desperate escape. He dashes through the trees, realizing he's surrounded and can't break through without Bilshan's magic. Spotting Ferric and Sir Enoch in the distance, he concludes he has only one option left. He hurls his dagger with all his might, the blade whistling through the air and clanging off something unseen. Sir Enoch, with lightning reflexes, grabs the bandit's arm mid-lunge. The bandit is left stunned and disoriented, his weapon now gone. Sir Enoch swiftly spins him around and slams him to the ground with brutal force. As soldiers pin the struggling bandit, Sir Enoch chastises him for throwing his sword, questioning his honor. Sir Enoch laughs a chilling sound as he pulls out his own knife and asks what good honor is to the dead. The bandit looks up in sheer terror as Sir Enoch prepares to deliver the final blow. Sir Enoch then drags the bandit's body away, casually apologizing for the unsightly display. He explains that with more time he would have been cleaner, insisting he doesn't usually fight like this, but the other knight assures him it was still impressive. Another knight questions why they kept the remaining bandits alive. Sir Enoch reveals that some soldiers recognized a few of the bandits, suspecting they might be survivors from the recently raided village. They plan to take them back to the castle to confirm their identities and then decide their fate. A soldier barks orders for everyone to return to the barony and transport the captured bandits. One of the tied bandits is roughly pulled to his feet, trembling in fear. Suddenly, another bandit makes a desperate dash for freedom, screaming that he doesn't want to die, as soldiers shout for him to stop. Ferric, ever calm, simply states that he will handle it. He then stops the soldier who was about to pursue, a strange feeling telling him something isn't right. The fleeing bandits' desperate cries for help echo through the forest. Ferric's senses are on high alert, detecting an unfamiliar scent in the air. A powerful force rushes through the trees, making the leaves rustle violently. Ferric and the knights stand ready, but a massive, ominous silhouette looms behind them. The ground shakes violently as the colossal figure slams down with immense power. The fleeing bandit is brutally crushed beneath the monstrous impact, his life extinguished in an instant. The soldiers are aghast, wondering what kind of creature this is, as Ferric realizes this is no ordinary orc. Ferric's face hardens as he observes the terrifying new threat before them. He concludes that the adventurers must have failed their mission, and this monstrous being is far beyond a typical orc. This must be a leader of those demi-humans, a truly evolved and dangerous creature, snorting with raw aggression. With a long, clown-like smile and a body twice the size of a normal orc, it's clear this creature has evolved into something far more deadly. The evolved orc lets out a guttural roar and points, commanding a horde of smaller goblins to charge forward. Sir Enoch quickly orders his men into a defensive formation, instructing them to take out the goblins first before tackling the massive orc. A soldier bravely clashes blades with one of the charging goblins. Another soldier is violently knocked back by an unseen force, grunting in pain. The colossal orc's foot descends, a terrifying shadow looming over the battlefield. It stomps down with incredible force, sending shockwaves through the ground and scattering debris. Soldiers leap and dive out of the way, barely escaping the crushing blow. One brave soldier manages to stab the orc's leg, drawing a roar of pain from the beast. Another knight slashes across the orc's arm, blood splattering from the wound. The massive orc stumbles back, momentarily stunned by the combined attacks. It lets out a furious, guttural growl, then suddenly grabs one of its own goblin subordinates. And in a horrifying display, the evolved orc devours the goblin whole, spitting out a bone, as Ferric realizes this creature can heal its wounds by eating its own kind. It looks like they won't be going home anytime soon.